that whenever Spencer and I got together in any function, that some shit was going to happen. There happened to be an environmental conference in the Sioux, and as I worked in that area, it was like automatic attendance for Spencer and myself. And we finagled an invitation. Well, the first morning of the conference, Spencer and I were in the auditorium, sitting in our chairs in good time, and along comes Herb McIntyre with his head down, obviously thinking about something. And lo and behold, he sits directly in front of us, about 3 rows in front of us. After several minutes, he hears Spencer and I talking, quickly looks behind himself, looks at the front again, then turns around without saying anything. After a few seconds, he quickly turns around again and he says, "What are you two bastards doing here? You better behave yourself." That sounds like Herb. I do not recall any of us ever having an argument in any of these trips. That is a true testimony of a very strong friendship. Oh, Dennis Spencer the prankster. No eulogy about Spencer would be complete without a few stories and his associated pranks. In our earlier days in the MOE, the Utility Operations Section used to hold an event every September known as the Superintendent's Convention. This was a working convention with guest speakers, workshops, presentations by various personnel from purchasing, human resources, finance. So it wasn't a fun conference. We were supposed to be working. Conference was attended by all of the utility operations personnel in Toronto, about 65, as well as all the plant superintendents in Toronto, about 80. All the attendees brought their wives, and the conference included a dinner and a dance on the Wednesday evening. Over the years, the three of us attended many conferences with our spouses, and we were always together at these conferences for all of the social activities. At one particular conference at the Westbury Hotel in Toronto, Don and Jane from Belleville Little excused themselves around 11 p.m. after the dinner and the dance, said they were tired and were going to bed. Spencer and I said goodnight and said we'd meet him in the morning. Now, Spencer and I were well oiled by this time, and we agreed that there's no way we're going to let him go to sleep at this early hour. After giving him about half an hour to go to sleep, I went to the front desk, advised him that I was Don Little in room 1204, and I'd locked myself out of my room, and I needed another key. The key was promptly handed to me, and Spencer and I proceeded to Don's room. We very quietly opened the door, entered the darkened room, run to his bed, grabbed into the bed, promptly tipped it upside down. In the process, the end tables were upset, the lamps were squashed. Don and Jane ended up on the floor under the bed. To say nothing about the mattresses and the box spring. Upon hearing us laughing, he knew it was us and he yelled, "What did he say here? I'm going to kill you two bastards." The two of us then crawled out from under the bed as well, began to laugh. We reconstructed the bed, sat down, had a drink with them and left. Hey, good time was had by all. At another conference in the Westbury, there was a plant superintendent from Cornwall named Bill Gerard and his wife Frida. I hope they're not here. Bill was an excellent superintendent who enjoyed a good time, but he wasn't much of a practical joker. Bill had worked for me at one time, and I knew him very well, but at the time of this convention, 1976, he was working for Spencer. On the evening of the banquet and the dance, Bill invited us up to his room for a pre-banquet drink. During this gathering, Spencer and I decided we would play a prank on Bill. This is all Spencer's idea. I just went along with it. I discreetly hid in the clothes closet in Bill's room, and everyone left to go to the banquet. Spencer promptly returned. I let him in, and then we relocated every stick of furniture. bed included, into the bathroom. The room was absolutely void of anything. I should add, 4 couples were seated at the table during the banquet. After dinner, before and after the dance, Bill said they're going to go up to the room and freshen up, and they'd be right back. We then told Don and Jane what we had done, and we waited for the shit to hit the fan. Now, it should be known that Bill is a very serious person, and tricks like this will not be well received. When we got back to the table, he was absolutely steaming. He was beyond words. We all expressed our surprise and sympathies, and told him that he should complain to the hotel staff. He said that he did that, and they were rearranging his room right at this moment. I should add that when we arranged the room the first time, I left his hotel window unlocked. Now, Bill liked to dance, and as long as the band was playing, Bill would not leave the hall. Around 10 o'clock, Spencer and I left to go and visit a few people for a couple of minutes. We went to my room, which was just down to Bill's room on the same floor. So I crawled out on the window ledge on the 10th floor, made my way to Bill's room, got into his room through the unlocked door, same exercise. Every stick of furniture went into the bathroom. We returned to the dance, and a good time was had by all until the end of the evening. We then made ourselves very scarce, as all hell was going to break loose when Bill got to his room. We found out the next morning that when Bill got to his room, he was so incensed, he checked out of the hotel and drove back to Cornwall at midnight. Some people just can't take a joke. To this day, Bill does not know who the culprits were. I could go on forever recalling numerous incidents that occurred over the years, but they tend to get a bit repetitious after time. Chelsea mentioned, and this isn't in my speech, I just picked it up, that Spencer liked to sing. Spencer's favorite song was Brazier, but I don't remember the words, so maybe Dawson or Chelsea can tell you the words after if you want to ask them.
Yeah, Paul can tell you that.
Spencer's favorite expression whenever we got together as a group will now be emphasized. This expression was especially true at Moose Camp every year. For some reason, Spencer and his boys, even though they were furthest away, usually arrived first. And whenever I got there, several hours later, he had the table set with several glasses and his favorite beverage, either Crown Royal or Weiser Deluxe. And the expression for Spencer was always the same, quote, "It's time for a ski." So now I'm going to ask everybody to come up to the table and get a ski, and we're going to resume the speech. So if everyone would come up and get a little glass, please.
If you're not going to it might be mixed though.
Oh, that's okay then. At least it's mixed, that's fine.
You're not going to have one? Oh, there you go now. Don't leave me hanging. I'm so good. Oh. Is it all gone? You can have a sip of wine, please. No, I need help. I need help.
Double, eh? That's mine.
This one was a low point.
Right.
Take as much as I can and you can take the bottom.
So hopefully everyone's ready. Now, in remembrance of Spencer, Please hoist your glass and join me in sending off our dear friend with his favorite expression. As Spencer would say, it's now time for a ski. To Spencer. Thank you, everyone.
I know what it is. I may have had one before.
So I'm the last speaker. I don't really have to say a whole lot. I feel very blessed to have been part of this family and have known Spencer for 28 years. There's not really a whole lot I can say except his love for his family and his friends. I can't. His love for his family and friends is paramount. I was pretty young when I moved to Kingston, and from the day I moved here to the day I met Jocelyn, Chelsea, and Spencer, they welcomed me in their life, and I feel very fortunate today to be standing here, but I'm not here to speak about me. I'm here on behalf of his sister Sandra, who cannot be here today, who would have loved to have been here. And so I'm going to read a card that she had written on behalf of her. My little brother. I'm talking about my little brother, who when he was between 5 and 7 was a little devil. To all my friends and to me at the cottage, do I have stories to share? He would just appear and tantalize us as long as he could. Perhaps he would hear his dad's whistle and he would go home. But as time went on, I realized he was just the best to have around. When I was moving, he just showed up, putting basement things in the dumpster, and they were gone. He would phone one day and could tell that I wasn't liking things as well at that time. He just said, "Get your down here." And that's what I did. Thank goodness, Jocelyn said, "Okay." As time went on, and it was not well, his family would answer the phone. And then, when he could not hold the phone, Harry, Paul, Chelsea, and Jocelyn would hold the phone to his ear so we could have a little chat. And we never said goodbye, but always said, "I love you." He was my little brother for 78 years and 4 months. And I miss him so much. Much love, Sandy. Now, as a final wish of our love for him, we have some bubbles. We're going to pass those out, and we're going to send our love up to heaven to be with him today. So we'll pass those out.
Just bear with us a couple minutes, and we'll hand the bubbles out and be done.
Tiny bubbles.
So, as it says on here, I'll blow kisses to heaven from my heart to yours. So if everyone would like to blow some kisses up to heaven to my dad.
Put your lips together.
It's needed. I want these all the time.
My dad would have loved this day so much. He would have was talking before this and talking about that stupid grin that he'd have on his face walking around here, just happy as hell. So thank you for coming and being a part of this. And now we can relax and party and eat some food. So thank you so much.